Hello, good day. I am Jendi Durano from BS Ed Math and I am from Group 4. So today I am going to discuss about global democracy. So before we start, let's have the lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand the concept of demography and its effects to global population, understand the Malthusian theory and its criticism, and analyze the demographic transition theory and its criticisms. So let's start. So demography. Demography is the scientific study of the determinants and consequences of human population trends. By beginning of the 21st century, world population reached 6 billion. Most growth has occurred in the past 200 years. So, next. In this figure, or in this table, as a massive increase of billions of people occurred no less than 200 years ago, this is the global demographic transition brought by momentous changes reshaping the economy and demographic life cycles of individuals and reconstructing populations. Currently, before the transition, the growth of the world population is close to stationary, depicting the life is short birth where many growth is slow and the population is young. Since 1800s, global population size has already increased by a factor of 6. By 2100s, will have risen by a factor of 10. There will be 50 times as many elderly but only 5 times as many children. Thus, the ratio of elders to children will have risen by a factor of 10. The length of life, which has already more than doubled, will have tripled, while births per woman will have dropped from 6 to 2 by Lee 2003. So let's proceed to the Malthusian theory. Thomas Malthus, from 1766 to 1834, was the first person to draw widespread attention to the two components of natural increased births and deaths, fertility and mortality. Malthus formulated an essay titled Essay on the Principle of Population, initially published in 1789, wherein postulated that population tended to grow geometrically while the means of subsistence grew only arithmetically. In this table, in this graph, Malthus also argued that the difference between geometric and arithmetic growth created a tension between the growth of population and the means of subsistence. This gap could not persist indefinitely. In his essay, it was mentioned that the population was held in equilibrium with a slowly growing economy. Faster population growth would depress wages, causing mortality to rise due to famine, war, or disease. In short, misery. Depressed wages would also cause postponement of marriage, resulting in prostitution and other vices, including contraception, and this has called the preventive check. Economic progress could help only temporarily because population could soon grow to its new equilibrium level, where misery and vice would again hold it in check. Only through moral restraint, that is, postponement of marriage, did Malthus believe that humanity might avoid this fate, and he thought this an unlikely outcome by Lee 2003. Next. Population explosion. Contrary to what Malthus predicted, mortality has not risen to curb world population growth. The world population boomed up to near a billion in 1800s and reached 6 billion by the end of the 20th century. Apparently, Malthus did not recognize the force of the Industrial Revolution, which produce exponential growth in the means of substances. Next, we have the demographic transition. During the first half of the 20th century, demographers conceived the notion of the demographic transition. The demographic transition framework illustrates population growth in terms of discrepancies and change in two crude vital rates, mortality and fertility. Demographic transition refers to the transition from high birth and death rates to low birth and death rates as a country develops from a pre-industrial to an industrial economic system. We have the graph here from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. The stages will be discussed. So let's start with stage 1, pre-industrial society. High and unstable birth and death rates, population growth rate slow. Importance of children, low life expectancy. Reasons for the changes in birth rate. Number 1, children are needed for farming. Number 2, they die at an early age due to illnesses. Number 3, no family planning and conception or giving birth is encouraged by religion and society. Reasons for the changes in death rate: disease, famine, and poor medical knowledge. So let's proceed for stage 2. Early industrial society. High birth rate, falling death rate, high population growth. And the reasons for the changes in birth rate: children are needed for farming, they die at an early age due to illnesses. No family planning and conception or giving birth is encouraged by religion and society. For the reasons and the changes of birth rate is the same as for this in stage 1. But reasons for the changes in death rate are different. So improvement in medical care, water, supply, and sanitation, and then fewer children die. Stage 3, late industrial society, low birth rates, falling death rate, high population growth. And reasons for changes in birth rate: improvement in medical care and diet. Fewer children are needed for work. Gamay na lang ang mga bata nga needed pa mo trabaho. Reasons for the changes in death rate: improvement in medical care, water, supply, and sanitation, and fewer children die. And the last one is stage 4, post-industrial society, low birth rates and death rates, low population growth. Reasons for changes in birth rate: family planning, good health, later marriages, and improving status of women. Reasons for the changes in death rate: good health care, wala na hapit matay, reliable food and supply, and people are living much longer. So let's proceed. We're done with the stages. And there are the family rates around the world, from lowest to highest. Okay, let's proceed with the criticism of the demographic transition theory. The demographic transition theory is only based on Western societies like Europe, America, and Japan. It is not inevitable that there will be a fall in fertility rates in less developed countries. The length of time that the countries will traverse the stages, if they do, is unpredictable. Times have changed since the developed world went through demographic transition. Okay, next. Let's proceed with fertility transition theory. This theory states that fertility is declining in the less developed countries at a rate which exceeds the rate of decline that was experienced in developed countries. It seems to be related directly to the extent to which modern contraceptives are employed. In modern times, information about contraceptives is widespread due to mass media. Stripped of the major points, The fertility transition theory asserts that while economic development can create a climate conducive to reduction in fertility, it is change in cultural attitude about large families and a willingness to use contraception that matters aside from the presence and availability of contraception itself. Still, opposition to birth control and family planning are aplenty. The manufacture, distribution, and education about use of contraceptives remain expensive. Religion can block control programs. Others are of societal concerns, low status of women, lack of political economic rights, and lack of access to education. So, for conclusion, demography is a study of determinants and consequences of population trends. One important phase in world history is demographic transition, wherein the Malthusian theory had been modified to cater several development stages of various countries. This demographic transition theory is not free from criticisms at all, as the same does not apply to all countries and due to other theories debunking it. So that's all, everyone. So I hope you learned from me, from my discussion. So thank you. That's all.